How about you? I'm Hank. I want to talk to you just a little bit about if I bought a tractor today, what would I do different? What are some things I would look for and some considerations that I would have that, maybe you haven't thought about, maybe you have thought about them. And then let me know in the comments if you think these are good suggestions, good ideas, good thoughts, good concerns. And also put in the comments what you would do different and add to the conversation so that we all get smarter, we all get a little better. If you're watching this video, you're probably researching buying a tractor or maybe some tractor implements. Hopefully this video gives you some value, and in the comment section, hopefully that gives you some value as well. So let's get started. We're going to work our way from the back to the front, and we're going to talk about a little bit about implements, but mostly about tractor stuff. So here we go. We're going to get started right off the bat here. On the back side, I would buy an implement that had a slip clutch. A slip clutch is something that is not a shear pin, but this setup for a PTO driven implement is a lot easier. It's a lot better on your equipment. You don't have to get out of your tractor if you break a shear pin. All kind of advantages for a slip clutch. There's some maintenance involved in this, but that's okay. You can get it done. It's not that big of a deal. Don't mention anything about the safety shield. I actually broke it off, but you do want to be safe with that type of equipment. So let's look at the rear of the tractor and some of the considerations for the back of the tractor. On the rear of the tractor, some things that I think should be mandatory and you should consider if you're buying a tractor today. Now, we're filming this in 2023, but I'm telling you, unless they come out with something different, 2024, 2025, years, these are things that I think are necessary for the back of your tractor, and that is rear remotes, right? At least 2 sets. And what you're going to do with 2 sets of rear remotes is you're going to be able to power your hydraulic top link or any type of hydraulics, implement any type of hydraulic addition to the rear of your tractor by having that. You can also hook your backhoe into this and the rear detent there so that the fluid continuously goes through the lines and hoses. But you can hook what I can do is I can hook my backhoe into this one, put it on detent, and keep my hydraulic top link on the rear spool there, and I can use the rear spool and the backhoe at the same time. So if you're buying a tractor this year, get rear remotes. It's very, very important. It's very super handy. They do make a hydraulic side link for it, which I wish I had. I don't have one, but I wish I had one. So make sure that you look for that kind of stuff. It's a rear remote. It's 2 of them on this particular tractor. The bigger tractors have more, but man, I'm telling you, if you don't have rear remotes, you don't know what you're missing. So let's move on to the next thing that I think is mandatory, or things that you need to get if you're buying a tractor this year. If you're buying a tractor this year, just move on down and get these things right here. These are adjustable 3-point linkage arms. So this right here, this goes up and down when there's not weight on it, and this pin travels in this groove, and this extends and kind of wiggles a little bit so that there's some play in it. And I'm telling you, it makes your life super easy when you're putting 3-point implements on. So make sure that you get extendable 3-point linkage arms. Super important, and they're nice to have. Also, when you're getting, and these are for 35 horsepower tractors and up, you want adjustable sway arms, right? So this right here, this pin comes out, it comes up, and you can have, this one's got a slot in it, but you can put you can put the pin directly in these holes, which I do it on the other side, and that keeps the sway of the implement the way you want it. So here you can see the pin is in a stationary hole versus the slotted hole. So that's 3 things that you can have on the back that's super important, but I'm telling you, that's not all. Let's talk about a few more things. Another thing is a drawbar. You need to have a place where you can put a drawbar. Now mine's in the shed right now, but when you are out there, you need a way to pull stuff, different type of implements, earth engaging implements, trailers, whatever. Drawbars are super handy to have. I highly recommend that your tractor, when you buy one, has it. And then let's talk about this thing right here. This thing's awesome. This handle here raises and lowers the 3-point implement, or the 3-point arms, from outside the cab. So when the engine's running, I can raise up this implement by standing out here. I don't have to get back in the cab. And then if I want to lower it, I can just push down on the lever and it lowers it. So this thing is super handy. I love it. I think that every tractor should have it, especially if it's a cab tractor. Every cab tractor, every make, every model should have this lever right here, this handle, because it is super easy to do and it's super, super functional. And if you don't have it, you're missing out. So make sure when you're buying a tractor this year, you look to see if it has that handle, because I'm telling you, it's a game changer. It really is. And to have that and not have to get back in the cab and, raise up to make sure that you get your pins good for your 3-point hitch, that thing is a lifesaver. Couple that with your hydraulic top link, shoot, man, you think you're living in daggum cloud nine, you know what I'm saying? So let's talk about a few more things that you need to get on a tractor that you're buying this year. I think you need to buy a cab with AC. I'm telling you, man, cab tractors. Now I live in Florida, super hot. Sometimes it gets super dry. So to have it with a cab on it, with the AC on it, man, I'm telling you, woo, that feels good. I know y'all can't feel it, but man, that feels so good. So there's definitely, you want AC in your cab, and you can bush hog in the dry weather, you can bush hog in the rain, you can do whatever you want to do. Work in the rain with the cab, work in the heat. If you live up north, you can plow snow, you can push snow with the cab tractor with the AC and the heat. Very, very important. I think draft control, now my tractor does have draft control here on this particular lever here. Draft control it's a nice feature. I just don't personally use it that much in my tractor. If you have a plow or you're doing some type of tractor work where you need that implement to kind of stay level, if you will, I know that's not the right way to say it, but that draft control will help you do that. So if that tractor that you're looking at this year has it, it's a good option to have. If it doesn't have it, me personally, it's not a deal breaker. I do think though, you need that differential lock. That differential lock is a must. I'm not super sold on hydrostatic versus shuttle shift versus gear drive. They all have their place. So if I was buying a tractor this year, I would either go with a hydrostatic or a shuttle shift. I probably would not. I've had all three. I'm familiar with all three. Probably would not go back to a gear drive because of what I'm doing here at my farm. If you guys are doing different type of work, now they all have their place. And I think that, for the stuff that I do a lot of bush hogging, The hydrostatic is the way to go. Something else I think you're going to need is 4-wheel drive. So here's my 4-wheel drive lever here. I pull this handle up behind here and it engages my 4-wheel drive. You can see this sticker says on, that says off. So on, 4-wheel drive, off. So you pull it up to engage your 4-wheel drive and you push it down to turn it off. So that's what I would recommend, a 4-wheel drive tractor. This one, my particular model, has cruise control on it. Now it's not a deal breaker. So if you're buying a tractor that has cruise control on it, that's okay. I don't think it's something that you have to have, but I do think it is neat. I do use it often when I'm bush hogging, but it's not the end of the world if it ever broke. So, or if it did quit functioning, or if my tractor didn't have that option, it doesn't matter to me. Something else I think you're going to need if you're buying a tractor this year is your third function. So here's my third function on here. I've got it plumbed into the hydraulics, and then the fittings are out front of the loader. So this is where your grapple or any type of hydraulic powered implement or attachment would come in and go through there. So if you're buying a tractor, go ahead, get that third function. They come in a true third function or a diverter valve. It really doesn't matter. If you need a third function for some of the attachments you have, then you need to get the true third function where you can do some different functions at the same time. But a diverter valve works 99% of the time. Not that big of a deal. When you're buying a piece of equipment, you need to buy a tractor that's got a great warranty. This has a 6-year limited warranty. And I'm telling you, if you don't buy, people will say all the time, buy the dealer, not the tractor. That's such a true statement. It's really true. If you don't have a good dealer network, then it doesn't matter what you've got, because if they're not going to honor their warranties or anything like that, then you've got a big, paperweight sitting in your driveway. But the thing about, I've got 3 TYM dealers within 45 minutes to an hour of me. The closest one is just 10 miles down the road. And so I don't have any issues with my TYM tractor. I've got 240 hours on it. It's had 0 issues. 0. So I haven't had to go to my dealer about anything. So if I did, I've got one that's literally 12 miles down the road from me, and he's awesome. So there's that. So people say, marry the dealer, not the tractor. And I agree 100% with that statement. I think it's important. And I think that if you're going to buy a tractor today, you need to make sure you got a reputable dealer that's going to take care of you, even if you have to drive past the John Deere and the Kubota dealers. I'm telling you, don't buy green or orange just because. My daddy drove a John Deere forever. Well, I'm not sure it's the same John Deere that your daddy bought or your granddaddy. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm going to caveat that by saying I like all tractors, every one of them, every brand and all that stuff. I just got people get into this John Deere and Kubota thing when there's so many good brands out there, and it just drives me bonkers. It ain't a John. It's just the old Chevy Ford argument, right? But that's it. But if you're going to buy a tractor this year, make sure that it's got good dealer support, good warranty on it, and they're going to honor that in case something happens to your tractor, especially during the warranty years. I think probably most tractors nowadays, if they're 45 horse and above, maybe 35 and below, it might be optional, but 40 horse and above, get the skid steer quick attach. You've got to be able to take off your bucket and put on pallet forks. Take off your bucket and put on a grapple. Take off your grapple, put on a safety cage. So the skid steer quick attach is a must. And the smaller tractors probably won't have that option, but if you get a tractor that's in the 40 horsepower range and above, I bet a lot of 35 horsepower tractors have them. But I just think that probably at that horsepower and below, they start running out of those options, or they start making those optional. One other thing I think is important is that you have some type of power device, whether it be a cigarette lighter, a cigar lighter, or 12-volt outlet, whatever they call them nowadays, and then USB ports. Everybody's got phones on them nowadays, right? Having a power source for your phones, super important. Or you're recharging your earbuds, or you're recharging your phones, or you're recharging whatever it is you're recharging. These are important to have. Cabs and non-cab tractors carry these. Most of them are coming with cup holders now. Whatever. If they have them, they have them. If they don't, they don't. Something this tractor did not come with that I think you should look for if you're buying a tractor this year is a toolbox. There's plenty of aftermarket toolboxes out there that people can make. You can modify your own, buy an ammo can, put on it or whatever. But, if you're going to spend $40,000 on a tractor, get a toolbox with it. You know what I'm saying? I think they should come with toolboxes. If you noticed, some of you have met the astute viewers, I don't have a grill guard on there. I have one. It's getting modified with a custom grill guard on it at this time. It does have one. It does come standard, but mine's getting H put in the middle for Hank, and Homestead is actually making it for me. Maybe the H will be for Homestead. I don't know, but I'm going to say it's for Hank or Hamiltonville Farm. I do have a grill guard, so most of them will come with grill guards. Some optional grill guard companies out there that make nice protections for your grill. So that's an option that you can look into as well. This was not the end-all be-all list of things to consider when you're buying a tractor. But I was sitting here thinking this morning, if I had to buy a tractor this year, what would I get on it? What would be the creature comforts that I want? What would be some of the mandatory items that I would want on a tractor now that I've had one for 4 years? I didn't buy my first tractor until 2018, and it's 2023 now. So November of 2018 is when I bought my first tractor. So I haven't even had a tractor for 4 years yet. But in my experience with this, I've got I've gotten about I've got less than 1,000 hours on a tractor in those 4 years. I've got about 750, 850 hours on all my tractors so far. This tractor's got 240 hours on it. And I think I put 300 hours on the other one and a couple hundred on the other one. So, you know, I've got less than 1,000 hours of experience on a tractor anyway, but during that 1,000 hours, those are some of the things that I've thought of. Those are some things that I would consider. Hopefully it helps you out. Hopefully you can take this and figure it out for yourself. Catch this video right here and watch some more from the channel. We would appreciate it. God bless you guys. Hey, read your Bible.